Electronic cigarettes, or e-cigs, are generally constructed of three different parts. There's some sort of electric power source, usually a battery. There's a heating element, and then there's some sort of container or reservoir for nicotine liquid. And the idea is that once the battery is activated, it powers up the heater. The heater heats the liquid, produces a vapor that the person inhales with the intention of inhaling nicotine vapor. That nicotine liquid is almost always in one of two vehicles. It's nicotine mixed with propylene glycol or nicotine mixed with vegetable glycerin. And then that mixture almost always will include some type of flavoring and perhaps sweeteners. In e-cigarettes versus the nicotine in tobacco, it's actually a very relevant question, because whereas it may be very expensive to synthetically produce nicotine, it's relatively inexpensive to extract it from the tobacco plant. And so, in fact, the nicotine that's in tobacco cigarettes is nicotine in the tobacco plant. The nicotine that's in electronic cigarettes is nicotine that's been extracted from a tobacco plant. So either way, it's the same drug, and in fact, it has the same biological basis. Nicotine is a psychomotor stimulant, which means it excites your muscles at the level of the neuromuscular junction. It's also it also acts on neurons in the brain. It's interesting because at low doses, it has a mild excitatory effect, kind of like caffeine does. At high doses, it can cause seizures and death. And so it's well known that unlike caffeine, it's very easy to overdose on nicotine. In terms of future research on electronic cigarettes, I think I'm pretty concerned with what they do. What they do when people use them the way they're intended, what they do when people use them the way they're not intended. And by what they do, I mean, do they deliver nicotine? Do they deliver other toxicants that could be harmful? What I do worry about is what the long-term effects of many, many puffs per day, week after week, month after month, year after year of propylene glycol vapor or vegetable glycerin vapor or vapor made up of all those flavorants, what those effects would be on the human lung. And I don't think we know the answer, and until we know the answer, it's really hard to say that long-term use of these products is sure to be safe.
We'll see other examples as we move forward with the presentation, but please note that the electronic cigarettes on the right in their pretty colors are targeted towards young women in the advertising. What we have here are examples of advertisements that are targeted towards young women with fancy flavors. Sex sells. Just a couple of things I want to point out in this advertisement. The 2012 only comes once, if you'll notice. And men that are watching, that's the segmentation of the male body. She looks very satisfied, but we have lost our heads there. There's nothing more to our body than the middle section. And then for those of you who may not know, Joe Camel, that has been banned now, the Camel commercial, notice the phallic symbol around his nose and lips. And if you want to be cool, smoke Camels. Or if you want to be cool, like our friend there in blue, click here to find more. Why? Because sex sells. This is a classic example of the segmentation of the female body to sell a product. You will note that the attention, which is drawn by the configuration of the hands and the jewelry in the navel with the arrow pointing down to the actual spot where the advertisement for the product is located. And I think that's all I need to say about that. Let me ask you, who is the target market here? And if you'll notice, they have all the racial groups covered too. And this advertisement is also shocking, really, if you dissect it from a psychological perspective. Come on, give me a break. Blow in her face. Now, I don't even like saying this, but anybody knows anything about pornographic movies? I mean, this is the image. And blow in her face and she'll follow you anywhere? Where is she going to follow you? Right up to your bedroom? This is outrageous advertising.
Cigarette makers under fire this morning. One state now investigating whether Juul markets to teenagers after a series of lawsuits accusing the company of trying to hook teens. Paula Ferris here with the latest. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you, George. It's meant to help adult smokers quit, but teens are being enticed by the cool factor. The flavors, it's sleek, it's slim, you can hold it in the palm of your hand, and with flavors like fruit medley and cool mint, it's no surprise teens are getting caught juuling in school bathrooms, libraries, even under their classroom desks.
I've seen kids juul in class.
Juuling, it's named after this trendy vape pen, which is exploding in popularity, particularly among teens.
Kids are going to the bathroom, smoking it in stalls.
But this morning, the company behind that pen is in hot water.
They're engaged in an effort to get kids addicted, to get them hooked, so that they will have customers.
The Massachusetts Attorney General Tuesday says Juul Labs is failing to prevent minors from buying its products. She's announcing her office will investigate. And since April, at least 3 lawsuits have been filed, one citing ads like these from 2015, arguing they sell, quote, sophistication, sexual attractiveness, thinness, and popularity. The latest is from a mom in New York on behalf of her unnamed 15-year-old son.
He entered a school where Juul use was endemic, and as a result, he ended up trying juuling and ended up very quickly completely addicted.
Vaping is seen in popular online tutorials like this.
Over 3 main things that you're going to need.
It works by heating up liquid nicotine that users inhale. One study in 2016 found that e-cigarette use increased by 900% among American high schoolers from 2011 to 2015. Freshman Margarita Ferreira says flavors like mango and mint enticed her to use.
Since I was exposed to fruit, obviously, and mango and mint, that I just thought it was okay.
She told ABC News in June she's been juuling for about 1 year, and she started in 8th grade. Juul Labs, which has seen its sales skyrocket nearly 800% just in the past year, tells ABC News they actively work to keep their product from being sold to minors, and that their product is designed exclusively for adults, giving smokers a safer way to quit, and that no young person or non-smoker should ever try Juul, adding they are investing $30 million to independent research, youth and parent education, and community engagement. Now, this is a stunning statistic. Young people need to know there is nicotine in this. According to a recent study, 63% of those ages 15 to 24 had no idea, but you saw those Juul pods. There's as much nicotine in one of those pods as there is in a pack of cigarettes.
And that's the health risk for teens.
That really is. And, you know, vaping, it's said to be safer for adults who are trying to break their smoking habit just due to the carcinogens, but there is no e-cigarette on the market that is safe for teens. Their brains are still developing. The nicotine is so addictive, and so much research has shown that using e-cigarettes, it's actually a gateway to smoking.
Wow, great information. Wow. Thanks, Paula. Thank you.